Batman issue 7, legacy number 935. Matt Fraction writing with Jorge Jimenez on the art. So last issue revealed that Joker, like the doctor lady, whose name I've forgotten already, she has Joker in a tank, and he is speaking to her through a computer interface, right? We're just getting like this green text. And that was the end of last issue that set that up. That was the sort of the reveal. And then this issue, surprisingly, I think dives right into it. Like I thought that we were going to keep teasing this out for a while, but this issue is like, no, we're going to do a little cold open where we don't really understand what's happening quite yet. But basically, Joker has reached out via talking to one of the employees, one of the orderlies in Arkham Tower. He's reached out to try and get word to Batman that he wants to see him. And, you know, Gordon and Bullock put out their, what is currently the bat signal, which is putting a bat toy up on the window of Bullock's PI office, which is funny. But yeah, he shows up and it's like, okay, you got to go see someone. And Dr. What's her name?
Zeller,
thank you. Dr. Zeller keeps explaining all the rules. Oh, you have to keep on the green part of the floor. If you step on the red, you'll get zapped, blah, 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 blah. You need to take your shoes off before you go in. All these rules. If you try to harm, or I think you're going to harm my patient in any way, I'm like hitting the kill switch, and like everything, like the room's going to become a vacuum somehow. Like, you know, so she's making it very clear Batman is not to interfere. So I think by this point you get that he's there to see Joker, because it's like, okay, why would she be so worried that Batman's going to start throwing punches?
Yeah, the level of security they have, right? Like, if they were still trying to string us along that it wasn't Joker, you'd be like, okay, that's only one person it could be, right? Electrified floors, total vacuums. Like, yeah, I get in the story, it's to keep Batman from harming the patient. But I doubt every patient in Arkham Tower has the same level of security.
Oh, I can't imagine. This is specially designed for Joker. So when he walks in, we get the big page of like Joker in the tank, and then the computer screen just says, "Hey, you." I was like, okay, that's Joker. Sure, I get it.
Yep.
So Batman just sort of grunts. He's like, He's like, what's going on here? So he's like, okay, Joker, how did you do it? Right? You know, and like Dr. Zell is like, please refer to him as patient 10. And he's like, bitch, please. He's the Joker.
I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call him that. Just like, no, he's the Joker. You know, if someone managed to contact me from inside your bespoke present, he's still the Joker. Yeah. You know? And then the way the Joker side eyes, you know, and he goes, you know, I don't want to say it. So yeah, what this issue does with just the text panels as well is really, really fun.
It's so ominous because
it adds.
It feels like I don't know, like War Games or something where the computer's talking back to you. It's got that kind of like vibe to it. But yeah, you have this sort of thing where Joker's like saying, yeah, this machine that Zeller's put him on has cleaned up his brain. He can think for the first time. He explains actually because Batman's like, hey, you've already got a leak in your security because Joker got a message out to me to come and see him. And he's like, okay, yes, this guy used to be a cop. He, you know, I basically messed up his face, which we saw in the opening scene. This orderly has a kind of almost like a Two-Face style burn on the side of his head.
Yeah, on his right side, like it goes down. You know, his hair's, you know, missing. It goes down his right arm. Looks like he might be missing some fingers as well. Yeah. So yeah.
But the point is that this is someone he used who works here, that would get the message out for him, and yeah. So there's a lot of like, I mean, this issue isn't almost entirely just talking to the Joker in this room, this very almost Hannibal Lecter-esque, like come to see him kind of sequence, and it's pretty compelling throughout, I have to say. The art's pretty great. There's a couple of great panels later on where it's like you can see the reflection in Zeller's glasses, and in one glass it's Batman and in the other it's the Joker. Just little atmospheric touches like that really make it all work. But but Batman's like, hey, like, what's the gag here? What have you got me here for? What are you planning? And he's like, are you going to tell me that you can't remember all the horrible things that you've done as the Joker? That this was some other life? And then he's like, no, on the contrary, big 2-page spread of his face and the one little black box with the text, I remember. And then I assume this was a fold-out page in the physical version.
I think so too, because I think on the physical copy, I saw at the shop this week, it says with fold out.
Yeah. So there's this big fold out of like basically it's just Joker and like basically a lot of things that Joker's done in this big kind of, I guess we'll call it a 4-page spread with just basically just one bit of it he's holding Jason Todd. It's not panels though, it's more all just kind of, it's almost like a big wide cover that Jimenez has done.
And it's like Joker's greatest hits, right? Because it's got the Joker fish, it's got the blimp, it's got I'm trying to see some of the other stuff on here. There's the one with the Joker. I'm assuming this is going that has something to do with the story where he's got like a really long arm, right? And there's a guy that has a gun.
Yeah, there's the camera from Killing Joke and so on.
Harley's there, but
and you get like another 2-page spread of his face again. It says, I remember everything. So presumably this was the two different, like, this was the back of that fold out page was these 2-page spreads. So very, very big moment, right? And it's kind of a surprise, I guess, is that he's like, I can never leave here. Like I can't be let out. It's too dangerous. And all these memories and dreams all kind of fading together. It's horrific. All the rest of it. It was like, what's he say here? It's like, hey, maybe this is Dr. Zeller's story. She's a remarkable person, Batman. I hope you get to know her. I know it was me. I know what I am and what I've done. I am a monstrous and cruel and violent, and I am thankful to be contained. So it's kind of like this idea that he's like, no, I know how horrible. Like, if let's assume this has really worked for a second. He knows how horrible he has been. And how dangerous he is if he's not connected to this machine. And he's like, no, never disconnect me from this. I should remain here forever. And then after he said all this big speech, Batman just sighs. And Dr. Zeller's face just goes full on like anger because Batman's not taking this seriously. And he's like, oh, this is the opening of The Last Gambit. Right, that's the play. Give you more freedom. Maybe let you walk around a little bit. He's just looking for what Joker's angle is. Zeller's pissed about it, and this is where Joker's like, no, I can never be let go. I can never fill you. I know I can never fill you. In fact, this is why I'm letting you in on this, is you need to make sure she never lets me out. You need to make sure that she keeps me here. So I will say this storyline is intriguing. This idea that this version of Joker, at least hooked up to this machine, knows what he is and wants to be contained because he's sane while he's hooked up to it. And I love that Batman is so skeptical because, let's face it, I'm pretty skeptical myself. Honestly. Yeah.
Well, I love how sassy he gets with Batman with the hands on his hips and everything. Where he's like, okay. He's like, you all done with the games and plans and traps now that Zeller's miracle device has shown you the way. Now, why not take the needles out, maybe get the tubes out, walk around a little bit? Come on, man. And that's when he turns to Zeller's like, he's wasting my time. This is what he does. We can't trust him. So yeah, the fact that he's sassy and skeptical and everything, I love that spin.
Yeah, and Joker says, look, I know what it was like constantly being like on edge and always be plotting against you. And you know what that's like because you're Batman and you're always planning, you're always plotting. Like, I know how exhausting that is. I know how lonely it is. And he even says, I think you're lonely. I think you need a friend. I know I do. My ceaseless compulsions, monomania, megalomania, and obsessive drive to control and manipulate every detail of every day. It was exhausting. And the beautiful thing about that sentence is that it also describes Batman. Like, he has to control everything every day. It's exhausting. So, yeah, like, I love what Fraction's getting at here. I think it really works.
Also, the Joker weaponizing mental health terms is very, very funny right now. You know, because it's a person that you got to imagine this is like someone that's been through therapy but is still having problems, and they're trying to tell you how to fix yourself. And you're like, yo, I'm glad you're working on you, but leave me out of this. I'll go see a therapist if I want to. You're not my therapist. And that dynamic I felt was going on here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a lone Joker. I'm not lonely. Two different things. I can tell the difference. He's like, yes, of course. I used to tell myself the same thing. And that's when you get the reflection in Zeller's glasses, which is really, because Batman's blue, Joker's in the green tub, so there's a nice blue and green contrast. Yeah. But then the really interesting part is like Joker's like, hey, Dr. Zeller, can I ask a favor? And she's like, okay, what? And he's like, I realize this is very strange to ask this, but you know, I have reasons that I asked him here today, and one of them's a secret. I'm going to need you to like not listen to it. I'm going to need you to like turn off the comms and not listen to anything. And you know, and she's like, wait, I've got patient-doctor confidentiality. Like, I would never reveal what you say to him. And he's like, yeah, but, like, whatever me and Batman are, we have our own confidentiality that you don't get to be in on, which I thought was a really interesting way. I mean, that wasn't the exact line, but the way he kind of phrases it was really interesting.
And I think it was Snyder that had said he writes Joker like a jilted lover. And that's why the things with Batman, you know, is, you know, so here when he describes it as, you know, whatever it is that he and I are, right? It goes just beyond, you know, arch nemesis. You know, they're entwined and entangled forever, you know, and it gets off, you know, in The Dark Knight when Joker tells him, you know, kill you, what would I do without you? You know, so it's playing into that as well. You know, they're beyond whatever they are, and I like that Zeller does. She listens. Yeah, but she shuts off the comms for 30 seconds.
But I think it's more interesting here though, because it's coming from this version of Joker that's looking at it introspectively. It's not just this obsessive thing where he's saying crazy things like that because you know, I'll say the whale thing to give you a shock value kind of thing. It's more like, yeah, we've got a complicated relationship, and it's a relationship that almost no two people on this planet have, right? Like, not even Superman and Lex. Superman and Lex have obviously a very specific relationship, but it's not Batman and Joker. That's a very unique pairing. So she does indeed turn off the microphones or whatever, and Batman's looking at his watch, just going tick-tock. He's like, he's like, look, I still hear things from around Gotham in here, but someone's coming to kill you, and I don't know who, and I can't stop it. So he's trying to warn Batman, and this is probably going back to the teases of that like crime syndicate that they were teasing a few issues ago. Yeah,
the Minotaur.
That's the one. Right? Yep. And Batman just walks out in his bare feet. He's like, "I'm Batman. People try and kill me every day. You've discovered it's Tuesday." And he's like, "No, you don't understand." There you go.
I was like, no, he's sassy again. Like I love perturbed Bruce. You know, he's not angry. He's just like, oh, God, this guy. But and then we get the ultimate reveal.
Yeah, he's like, no, you don't understand. They're coming to kill you, Bruce. And that makes Batman stop in his tracks. Which I like this idea, that because we were like, okay, Joker wants her to stop listening, right? Turn off the mics. I love that it's because he's going to bring up his name as Bruce. Now, it's a little funny that she should have figured out that he's Bruce Wayne by now, based on the last couple of issues. But it is kind of interesting that that's the secret that he knew couldn't be revealed, that he had to like get her to stop listening so he could drop this bombshell. So I'm very curious as to, you know, what, like, does Joker explain that he's always known this, or at least for a long time? Does he explain that he's figured it out and he's got clarity that he's put it all together? So there's definitely been times in continuity before Crisis and stuff where Joker had definitely figured it out. It's not a completely new thing, but it's clearly a shock to Bruce in the moment. He clearly reacts to it, so it's a big deal that he knows.
Yeah, I always like the idea that Joker figured it out, but he keeps it to himself because that's the joke. You know, that's something that's just for him to know, you know, because he likes the game of Batman and Joker, you know. So the fact that he addresses him as Bruce and that whoever is coming to kill Bruce Wayne, not Batman, right? So that's why he's got to let him know. I do. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I almost think that he just doesn't care that he's Bruce. Like, he's probably figured it out, but he's like, no, like,
Right.
and in the same way that like Batman sees himself as Batman first, and Bruce Wayne's just the name in the disguise. Like, I think Joker just feels the same way. He's like, no, I'm here for Batman. I'm not here for the business suit, dude. Like,
yeah, where's the fun in that?
yeah.
So yeah, no, I like that it builds on their relationship a whole lot, and this is an issue that's done over a conversation, you know, and it's very dynamic in that as well, with Jimenez's pencils and the way that the colorist, I'm gonna see who the colorist was here. It's Tomu Mori. The way that it uses the reds, greens, purples, and all of that type of stuff on the stark white, you know, because this is a very clinical space, right? Like the cell/room that Joker's in.
Which
so it
is
makes
why
all these colors pop.
Which is why the black panels of just his text really, you know, stick out, because it's the opposite. Yep.
So just the way that they're telling the story over the conversation, and you don't, not that you don't realize it's a conversation, but it's dynamic, it's moving, there's always something going on, you know. They're not just, you never get the vibe that they're just standing there talking, you know. So to be able to pull that off in a comic book is a feat.
Yeah, I that was a great issue. I think that I didn't know what to expect with the Joker reveal from last issue, but they immediately did something interesting with it. And obviously it's inevitable the Joker will get out, but I almost I think the more interesting like sort of like path to that is that it's not that the Joker turns out to be lying and he's still evil or whatever. I think it's more that someone intentionally lets him out, and it's almost tragic that he's not going to be good anymore because he'll just go back to being the Joker.
Yeah. Or what if they run out of that because that metal that she uses, the titanographine, what if they run out of that? And that's the one thing that's keeping him clear, you know? So, and there's the tragedy of that he wants to be clear, but he can't, you know?
I mean, I could see that. I feel like it's more impactful if someone like maliciously makes the choice to not let this Joker exist. Like, no, I'm going to put him back out into the street. I'm going to take him out of this safe place where he is. So this idea that maybe he even like begs as someone's pulling the plug on the machine, like, no, I don't want to be that again. I don't want to be that again, but someone does it anyway. Now, who would that be? The Minotaur, maybe Vandal Savage. I don't know. Yeah, but someone.
So here's my question and this is to the listeners and viewers. How did Joker end up here? Is this something that happened, like, when was the last time we saw Joker? Because I can't remember. Was it during Tynan's run? Right? And we had the Joker spinoff with Gordon?
Oh, no, I was in Hattush.
Right? Yeah, but we're not... I feel like, is that where this is building from? Is that why his jaw's covered up?
I don't...
and stuff?
I don't know if it's building from anything. I don't think it matters. I think it's just... Wherever he was last, it's where he was, but, you know, he was captured sometime.
Yeah, just the way that I feel with Fraction, the way that it's building off of it, like it's a big deal that the Joker is in Arkham Tower, you know? So I just feel like him just starting there, I feel like there's got to be something that led to him there. And with the way that he's been pulling from other continuity with things, it just makes me wonder, like, where Joker was, because I can't, like, well, like, yeah, you said Hattush, but even before Hattush, where was Joker? Because they haven't been telling, like, people have been pretty good at staying away from Joker for a minute, you know? So,
well, kind of. I mean, we had
which
a lot,
adds here.
We had a lot of stuff about Batman issue 900 where there was Joker stuff going on. It wasn't technically the main Joker, but I don't like. I either, if it's important where he was before, I'm sure they'll get into it with flashback stuff. It'll come up, and if they don't, then it doesn't matter. He was captured like he always is eventually, and he's in Arkham because of that.
Right. Gotcha. But yeah, I'm just curious because he also has a different build than a Knight. He's not like the lanky, you know. He's got some thickness to him as well, you know. So it's just there's a lot of questions that it begs. You know, what was he up to before he ended up in this tube?
That may just be the side.
Those are good questions, though.
That may just be the side effects of being in the test tube, though.
Yeah, that could be too. That he's just, you know, because his body's not moving.
Yeah.
It's in the water, so it's taken on.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to turn out to be that important where he was last popping up, like, before this run. I mean, I would be shocked if Hattush, like, by the end of that, they did something that felt like it tied into the start of this. That would be absolutely gobsmacked if they did that.
The longer that it gets delayed, the more irrelevant it's going to be.
Yes.
You know, to everything. So yeah, that's where you know, when you brought it up, I was gonna like, yeah, but we're not counting that. Like, let's go beyond. But yeah, it's also the fact that Harley shows up in that like big pullout. I wonder if Harley's gonna, you know, have anything to do, because she was a mental health person as well, right?
I mean, it would be interesting
like,
to have Harley come and speak to him when he's like this. But I don't think that big 4-page spread was indicative of that, because I think that was just doing his greatest hits, because Jason Todd was there.
No,
you know, it was just doing all those things.
Yeah, but like, I just feel like where Harley is right now as this, she's not even an anti-hero anymore. She's a straight up hero, right? And the fact that she came from that, and she was in Dr. Zeller's shoes once upon a time, you know, I'm curious to see how she would react to this Joker that wants to be clear, you know?
I mean, I would be curious to see her reaction to this, and also her reaction to just Dr. Zeller and like what she's doing. But I mean, maybe they'll do that, maybe they won't. I have no idea. But
yeah, this is the most I've been compelled by the Joker in a very long time, which is great, because it's doing interesting things to a character that I don't particularly care for. And I feel it's been overexposed over time. And so the fact that Fraction's able to do this, and like, I have empathy for this clear Joker, right? Because like, he remembers all the bad things he does. And again, he has Zeller shut off the recording or the speakers, so he can talk to Bruce one-to-one. Like, it's a very human moment, you know? So the fact that we're getting there and we're getting this different version as well, I feel like that's Fraction, you know, doing what he does. That's
for
why
the
I'm glad he's on the
record,
book.
I have not ruled out that he is still just up to something either. Like, I think.
You think so?
I like.
So you're like skeptical, sassy Bruce.
Well, no, I'm not saying definitely not. I'm just saying it's absolutely a possibility. I mean, saying for sure that this is definitely at face value what he's saying right now. I think it's the most interesting direction to go in, but I don't think it's a guarantee that's the direction they are going in. So no, it's good though. I mean, it's got us talking. It's got us thinking about the possibilities of how this could affect other characters that know him, other characters that interact with him. I mean, not that I'm asking for a Jason Todd issue, but if Jason Todd comes to see him like this, what does that look like?
Right.
Zeller will have to press the button immediately. She's like, kill switch. He's trying to kill him.
Yeah. You know that I just thought about this because of the stupid fight month. That's the last time we saw Joker, is he was getting involved in the tournament with Lex and the other villains. So he was rolling around, you know, but
that counts even less than Hattush. That's like nothing.
Right.
It's like, that's all they're raised. Who gives a shit?
No, I know, but I just didn't want someone to call it out. It was like, oh, you just talked about him in KO4. And I was like, yeah. But yeah, when you brought up Jason Todd, I was like, oh yeah, we did get a thing on them that we had to read that issue. So yeah. Anyways, this is great. This is the most I've been enjoying Batman in a very long time as the singular title, because there's other Bat books, right? But like the actual Batman title, I feel like this is the most I've enjoyed it in years at this point.
Well, I mean, that's fair to say. I mean, we had Zdarsky, and you know, a little bit of Hattush after that. There was a little Williamson thing in there. Yeah, it was probably was Tynan the last like good run?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Because did it go straight from Tynan to Zdarsky?
I don't think so. I think
Williamson in there.
No, I think there was like a little like one issue arc from Williamson or something like that. Or something to that effect. I don't think it was like a 1-to-1, but it was like a little gap and then Zdarsky's run.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, no, Fraction's doing what I expect a Fraction with all of these twists and turns and the building up the characters and the stuff with seeing Gordon and Bullock and bringing back up the new bat signal as that little stuffed animal. I think that's a lot of fun as well. So
Yeah, because they set that up.
yeah, this is a good issue.
Yeah, it's not out of nowhere. That's something they did establish. So fun little status quo stuff kind of popping up here or there, which is nice. So no. And honestly, the Batman Zeller relationship is quite interesting, more so now, because we had obviously the date issue, which is maybe the best issue of the whole book. And then this, where she's a lot more obviously confrontational to Batman again. They're really setting up an interesting, the love triangle may be a harsh, too strict a term, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, no, interesting. What are you giving Batman, Matt?
I'm going to give this a 9.
Ooh. I think I agree. I think I agree with the 9. So sometimes you can have an entire book be just one conversation between two characters and it works. There's a couple of pages that build up at the start, which I do like because it builds up the suspense of, oh, where's he going? Because hell, even that's how Killing Joke kind of starts in a way, is him on his way to Arkham to go speak to the Joker, and then there's a twist, of course, that he's already left, but definitely, I mean, it'll be an accident that we get like him walking down the hall towards and all that.